IELTS Listening, Section 4. You will hear a lecturer giving a lecture about the human brain. First, you have sometimes to look at questions 31 to 40. Now we shall begin. You should answer the question as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer the questions.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. In this lecture, we'll be diving into a truly fascinating subject, the human brain. It's arguably the most complex and powerful structure in the known universe. Despite its relatively small size, weighing about 1.4 kilograms on average, the brain controls every thought we think, every move we make, and every emotion we feel. Let's begin with protection. Given how crucial the brain is, it's no surprise that nature has equipped it with a very secure shield, the skull. But the bone isn't the only defense mechanism. Nestled inside the skull, the brain floats in a special protective liquid known as spinal fluid. This fluid acts as a cushion, absorbing shocks and helping maintain stable pressure within the skull. You might think of it like a waterbed. If something shakes the system, the fluid disperses the energy evenly. Moving on, the brain's surface is covered by a wrinkled layer of tissue. This outer shell is called the cerebral cortex. It's the seat of higher-order thinking, like reasoning, planning, and even imagination. Without the cortex, humans wouldn't be capable of abstract thought or complex decision-making. Now, let's talk about brain lateralization. That is how different sides of the brain are responsible for different functions. The left hemisphere, for instance, is usually in charge of logical processes and language. That's why, when someone is speaking or writing, their brain is most active on the left side. It's where the center for speech is located, a function vital for communication, of course. On the flip side, the right hemisphere tends to be more involved in emotions, spatial processing, and those hard-to-define creative abilities like drawing, music, or even daydreaming. So, while the left deals with words and numbers, the right often picks up on tone, imagery, and artistic flow. Now, how do different parts of the brain communicate with each other? That happens through a network of neurons. Think of them like tiny wires, which pass electrical impulses from one to the next. These signals allow different regions of the brain to talk to each other instantly. For example, when you see a ball flying toward you, your visual system sends a signal that your motor system uses to help you catch it. Let's not forget about memory, such a central part of who we are. A structure buried deep within the brain, called the hippocampus, plays a key role in this. It takes information from your day-to-day experiences and helps form long-term memories. That's why people with damage to this area, such as in Alzheimer's disease, may recall events from 30 years ago but forget what they ate for breakfast. Another interesting part of the brain is the prefrontal cortex, located at the very front of the brain. It helps us think through consequences, weigh risks, and even decide what to say in awkward situations. More than anything, though, it helps regulate impulse control. That little voice that says, "Don't eat the whole cake," or "Maybe don't text your ex at 2 a.m." However, despite all its brilliance, the brain can be fragile. Injuries can occur not only from blunt trauma, like in car accidents or sports injuries, but also from internal causes. One common example is a stroke, which happens when blood supply to part of the brain is cut off. This can lead to loss of movement, speech, or even memory, depending on which part of the brain is affected. But here's the good news. The brain is surprisingly adaptable. Thanks to something called neuroplasticity, it can rewire itself over time. This means it can form new connections between neurons, a process that's especially strong in children but continues into adulthood too. It's why people can often regain abilities after brain injuries with the right therapy. Lastly, let's consider brain health. Activities like yoga or meditation aren't just relaxing. They're scientifically proven to boost concentration and reduce stress. High stress, on the other hand, has been linked to memory loss and other cognitive problems over time. So, in conclusion, the brain is not just an organ, it's the very essence of who we are. From language to logic, emotion to imagination, it governs it all. Understanding and taking care of it is perhaps the smartest thing we can do. Thank you for your attention. We'll explore brain diseases and treatments in our next session.
That is the end of Section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Please make sure you have transferred all your answers to the answer sheet correctly. The listening test is now over. You may now proceed to the reading section.